Hi guys, thanks for joining me. Before we get started on our Power Yoga 60 flow, I wanted to go over a couple common poses for you, that especially for the new yogis out there who've maybe never done a class before, just so we can go over some of the proper alignment. So when we do the full class, the Power Yoga 60, you won't be confused as to like what is that pose that she just said, which way is my foot supposed to be. So let's just do that right now really quick before we get started. So first, let's start with a Warrior One pose. So we'll take Warrior One on the right. So you're gonna step your right foot forward and your left foot back. So it's a lunge. Now my right foot is pointing to 12 o'clock and my left foot is on about a 45-degree angle. Okay, and my hips are square with the front of the room. So I'm drawing my right hip back and my left hip forward. So lunging deep, and you want to get, like, if possible, a nice 90-degree bend in your front leg. Yeah, and you feel that burn for sure. And draw your belly in, and then reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. So this is your Warrior One. Shoulders are pulling down away from your ears, fingertips reaching up towards the ceiling. Okay, Warrior One. Awesome. Now we're going to move to Warrior Two, right from here. So I want you to know the difference between Warrior One, Warrior Two. So the transition is quite simple. So we'll do a Warrior Two on the right. All I'm going to do is rotate my hips so it's sideways now, but I'm keeping that lunge, like my right foot hasn't moved, but my hips are now rotating sideways, and my back foot is now parallel, so the side of my foot is parallel with the back of my mat. So in Warrior One, it was more of on a 45-degree angle. In Warrior Two, parallel with the back of my mat. And now my arms are reaching away from each other. Shoulders down, lunge deep into that right leg. You want to stack your right knee right on top of your right ankle. So this is Warrior Two. Awesome. Let's try the other side. Let's do Warrior One on the left. So step your left foot forward, 12 o'clock, your back foot at your 45-degree angle, reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling, lunge deep in that left leg, hips are square to the front. So pull that left hip back, right hip forward. From here, open up to your Warrior Two. I like to wiggle my front foot forward a little just so I can get a deeper lunge. And then my back foot, again, parallel with the back of my mat. Reach your arms away from each other. Your hips are pointing to the side now. Warrior Two. Nice. Okay, next we're going to show Downward Facing Dog. So Downward Facing Dog, we use that pose a lot. It's a reset pose between certain sections of our flow. We'll come back to Downward Facing Dog to sort of catch our breath, reset. So I know a lot of students ask, well, how far should my hands and feet be in my down dog? I don't know if it's right. Really, it's what feels good in your body. I personally like to take my down dog from my tabletop pose. So tabletop pose, you're on your hands and knees, shoulders stacked right over your wrists, fingers spread wide, hips right over your knees. Curl your toes under, and then just lift your hips up and back. And for me, this is my down dog. And maybe your heels can touch your mat, maybe they don't. Don't worry about that. Like, don't feel like you need to walk your feet in because you want your heels to touch, because like, look how short my down dog is. Like, this isn't really resetting my spine. So you want your spine nice and long. You want to reset your spine. And then also, if you're too far away, I mean, some people like that. That's totally fine. I personally, I don't know, I feel not very grounded in this pose. I like to bring my feet in a little bit closer. That's just my personal preference. So you find out, play with your stance, figure out what feels good in your body. But if you're first starting out and you're not sure, I recommend doing tabletop pose to down dog. So doing that tabletop, lift your hips up and back, Downward Facing Dog. Awesome. So if you've watched the Chaturanga video, I highly, highly recommend you watch the Chaturanga video. And now that you know the basics, we can get started on our Power Yoga 60 flow.